The True Teaching of Jesus, the Pinecone, and Masonic Secrets of the Silver Bullet. Part 1. Deep in the brain sits a silver bullet-shaped gland that points upward, and while it receives reality from the light that enters the right eye of Ra, it projects one's desires blended into the reality through the left eye of Horus. This happens naturally in all of us, but in those who activate this gland, the pineal opens up like another set of lashes, revealing a third eye, also shaped like a small cup. The activated gland secretes an oily substance and begins to overflow with this oil, like a cup runneth over, spreading across the brow, making said person anointed, and called the holy anointing oil. Something else also happens, because now the activated pineal gland not only perceives light, but magnifies it, radiating a glow, encompassing said anointed person in a halo of light, and with more light penetrating it and changed from the pre-activated silver bullet to the engorged and open third eye, the physiology of the pineal transforms into a powerful emerald crystal light transmitter, receiver, and manipulator. However, the activation of this pineal gland, silver bullet, is not in the head region or in the 45-degree angle of light's pathway in the human skull, and through the pineal gland to the back of the head to the crown, where the cosmic mind of God connects with us, but rather the activation point of this cerebral gland is in the very tip of the spine, in the coccyx, wherein the first seed of life, or germ, from insemination and prior to mitosis exists. This germ is said to contain the very essence of the life force, the very same meaning of the blood of Christos. This germ becomes the seed of life, which is made of 13 spheres, which is the number of Jesus Christ, and Scorpio, whose signet is this symbol, which turned 90 degrees counterclockwise, is the one and same symbol for the Kundalini, and the serpent Ophite key of the Konoibi priesthood of Egypt, who initiated the historical figure known as Jesus Christ. This germ, or the blood of Christos and seed of life, is energized, quote unquote, generally within every 29.5 days. But for some, as in those born when the moon was in CETUS, only 3 days out of the whole year. But not to worry, because the Masonic texts reveal CETUS is one of the names once given to Jesus. Because consider that the letter J did not come into existence until the 16th century, and, prior to, was simply a stylized C or I confused for the other. And said whale constellation is said to be behind other biblical myths and tales like Jonah and the whale, and Jason and the Argonauts, both of whom are seen by many biblical researchers as precursors to Jesus Christ. And just some of the astoundingly many more occult secrets revealed of the true teaching of Jesus, the pinecone, and Masonic secrets of the silver bullet. The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail resides in the coccyx, the bone at the bottommost tip of the spine, and a bone that very much resembles the tip of a scorpion's tail. Scorpio and the Kundalini share the same ancient signet, which is this, and which represents the germ or the seed of life, or Metatron's cube, which has 13 spheres, as there are 13 major joints in the human body, 13 Masonic chakras, and the same number attributed to Jesus Christ, said to be the fluid that results when the blood of Christos from the Holy Grail joins the silver bullet pineal gland in the brain. And this germ, or seed of life, is best harnessed when the moon visits one's natal lunar sign, or the sign in which the moon was stationed on one's birthday. The moon. The moon is 13 embodied, alongside with our 13 joints, the 13 Masonic chakras, and the 13 spheres in the seed of life and Metatron's cube, which itself vibrates to the number 13, which the moon plays a central role in energizing, which is different from activation. The moon energizes one's lunar natal sign around 13 times a year for 1 to 3 days at a time within every 29.5 days, which are the numbers that approximate one Saturn year. And Saturn, too, plays a central role in the matured Kundalini, or tree of life, grown from the seed of life within oneself, which unites the ego and the avatar. The more lunar visitation one gets, as in a Virgo, Leo, or Taurus, the more quote unquote re energizing they need. In other words, young souls. While less moon visitations, like with CETUS and Scorpio, mean old souls. The moon transits 15 signs overall, 13 of which pertain to joints, but CETUS, the neck joint, only gets lunar visitations 3 days out of the year, though that is merely because these lunar natal CETUS human spirits are born emotionally mature and wise beyond their years. Scorpio, as you may recall, is the coccyx, which is not a joint and differs from one, as it is the origin of the seed of life, while the joints are passageways, or branches for the seed of life's growing, branching tree. And the moon visits Scorpio 13 days out of the year. The Emerald Tablet of Thot. The activation of the seed of life is done mentally, per the first principle of mentalism, as stated in the Kybalion. The all is mind, the universe is mental. At the core of this principle of mentalism is mesmerism, which is, simply defined, the focus of one's mind, and, by rule, is only done with eyes closed, because when the eyes close, the pineal gland opens, and, though what at first all you may see is blank darkness, that is just a novice, immature pineal gland's perception, unlike a master's matured pineal gland, whose perception is like a living kaleidoscopic ocean of color and shimmering light. Nevertheless, in novice and master practitioners, the pineal gland opens with eyes closed. Another way to explain the difference is that masters see every sort of changing shape, blob, and lights, which are actually light codes of information from the invisible field of energy all about us, that the pineal gland reads like the laser in any CD player reads a CD. And because of the silvery reflection of the pre-activated pineal gland, it is described as the inner mirror and the penetrable portal where consciousness demolecularizes. You can attest to this same sensation of your consciousness, demolecularizing if you have ever, or ideally every day, entered a deep state of meditation. In meditation, your consciousness demolecularizes from your body, becoming nothing, or better said, no thing, i.e., no walls, no limits, no barriers. When there is nothing between you and everything. Therefore, you are all, and all is you. How to meditate properly. By rule, with eyes closed, focused on the coccyx located near the perineum and right above the anus. To activate the seed of life, it must be trapped, quote unquote, which is done by squeezing, tightening the anus or anal kegel, while simultaneously sustaining a very specific breath. Whether seated on a chair upright or preferably cross-legged on the ground upright to connect deeper with Earth, Mother Gaia, inhale and exhale through the nose if you can, and connect the tongue to the roof of the mouth to mimic the same electrical synapses between the neurons of the brain, which will enact a subtle piezoelectric current to run throughout the body. With the breath, said to be spirit, but blended, is electrified spirit. With your inhale, make your intake so profound your stomach expands. With your exhale, release all the electrified spirit engaging the abdomen, constricting as if you were doing a crunch or sit up, like your aim was to connect the belly button to your spine. Don't forget, sustain the anal kegel and tongue to the roof of the mouth, breathing through the nose. This causes pressure to build up along with the piezoelectric currents throughout the body, activating the seed of life in the Holy Grail, forcing the very life force or original blood of Christ of God to break out of the germ and have nowhere else to go but upwards toward the silver bullet pineal gland. The essence must journey upwards, called the rising awareness, also symbolized in ancient times by the lobster of the sea and the scorpion of the land, toward the first red root Muladhara chakra. But first, the life force must make its way up the triple spiral channel in the coccyx, thus the Sanya for the rising Kundalini and Scorpio, wherein we see this triple spiral with the arrow indicating the upwards ascension. The chakras, a speed round. To activate the first, Muladhara chakra, one must. In the next Occult Secrets Revealed, we will discover the colors, tones, lessons, the many symbols the Freemasons derived therein, and so much more, pertaining to the awakening of each chakra, and how you can activate your germ or seed of life, blood of Christos, or pinch of the scorpion, to unite earth with heaven, ego with avatar, yourself with y'all, and how such harmonious resonance between your awakened spirit and reality around you unlocks the many proverbial powers of the silver bullet, like instant manifestation and mastery of the law of attraction, to name just a few of the miraculous powers you already possess, just lying dormant, waiting to be accessed inside your own magical silver bullet of the Jesus Christ pinecone. So, how does it feel to know the truth? And now that you know, what are you going to do with it for yourself? and the world you desire for yourself. Be sure to drop it in the comments and add to the thriving conversation. I read each one and sometimes add my own 2 cents or paragraph to it, because it's your evolution that becomes mine, and I can't do this without you. So be sure to subscribe to join the growing community of learned initiates and truth seekers to, one day, truly make the world a better place. A deep thank you and special shout out for your super thanks. YouTube doesn't tell me who it is. Any help goes a long way for this one-man production. Until next time, trust and believe that it is okay to be you, the most beautiful you there ever was, there is, and that there ever will be, because you are not a story that can be told twice, and there will never again be a stage for you to perform but this one, right here, right now. So be you, the most beautiful you.